Hi, it's Ramsey Dewey, over here in Shanghai, China. Welcome to another edition of Q&A with the Coach. Today we have a question from our friend Syed Gohar, who says, "Please can you tell me how to make our inner voice stronger, so we can get motivated by ourselves and stay at that peak?" Alright, Syed, I hope I'm saying that name correctly. You have probably heard that aphorism, that what we need isn't motivation, it's discipline. Yeah, and I'm not going to repeat that to you. Because along with that question comes another, perhaps more important question. How do you become a disciplined person? And I can say, you work at it. You learn the value of hard work. You pull yourself up by the bootstraps and all these other things that old men used to say to young men, and probably still do. And of course, there's value to that. But you're talking about an inner voice. The only voice you will ever listen to in your life. This guy on the internet, with this cool-sounding, deep, manly voice, can tell you all kinds of neat, ear-tickling things. And you won't do any of them unless that inner voice inside of you says, hey, that sounds like a good idea. I'm going to do that. You ever watch a really annoying television commercial trying to advertise something, trying to sell you something that you didn't want? And it was just annoying, and you were like, I'm not going to buy that product because that commercial's stupid and I hate it. That happens to me all the time. Advertisements often end up having the opposite desired effect because I hear them so much. Like, oh, forget that. Right? Because that voice inside of me is saying, that's not what I want, that's not what I desire. And so telling me it is, I'm not going to listen to that, I'm going to listen to this. It's the only voice we ever listen to. And you could hear the voice of God speaking from the heavens to you, but you still have the choice. Am I going to listen to that big booming voice from the sky? That little voice, that little I am inside of you is the one who chooses, yes or no, right? So how do you make that voice stronger, if you will? How do you make that voice choose the best choices? How do you make that little I am inside of you say I will when the going gets tough? I think for a lot of people, a lot of fighters especially, the scariest thing is not how big and tough your opponent is. It's not the idea of experiencing pain or damage or somebody breaking your arms or knocking you out in a fight. It's the idea of getting in a fight and getting tired. Because when you get tired, you lose control. And you're not able to punch with power or kick with damage. You're not able to wrestle at maximum efficiency. In fact, when you get tired enough, you're not able to do anything. And it's terrifying. And not just in a fight. I mean, just go to a weights and treadmills gym where no fighting takes place. And put yourself through a really intense circuit. Throw a bunch of burpees in there, maybe some medicine ball slams, some plyometric jumps, some movements that really exhaust you. Swing some kettlebells around. And keep this circuit going for significantly longer than you are comfortable with, until that voice inside of you starts saying, no more. I've had enough. Let me go. I'm done. I'm done. Stop it. Stop it. Because eventually, sooner or later, that voice will come out, and it'll start screaming in your ear, begging, stop, stop. For most people, it happens sooner. Now, make a circuit for yourself, a very difficult circuit. A circuit, if you're not familiar with that, is a series of exercises that repeats. So here's a really simple one. Take a kettlebell. Don't need a lot of equipment for this, just a kettlebell. And do 20 kettlebell swings. and then 20 kettlebell snatches, and then 20 kettlebell cleans, and then just 2 nice, slow, easy get-ups, and then 20 burpees. And then repeat that. And repeat that for, let's say, 20 minutes. And if you're the average person, probably after a few minutes of that, that voice inside of you, that little voice, is going to turn into a big screaming voice saying, "No! Why are you doing this, you maniac? You don't have to do this just because that bald idiot on the internet told you to." But keep doing it, because guess what? That little voice doesn't own you, it doesn't control you, and it's not you. Do not mistake that voice with your own, because that's not the strong voice you're hoping for. Just because you hear it doesn't mean you have to obey it. So do that circuit. Probably around the 2-minute mark, you're going to feel very fatigued. Come the 3-minute mark, that voice is going to be saying, "Hey man, not a good idea to continue." Around the 5-minute mark, because you're going to push that far, that voice is going to be begging, "Stop, stop." When you get to the halfway mark, around 10 minutes, that voice is going to say all kinds of things. "Why are you doing this? Why? You don't have to do this. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to give yourself a heart attack. You moron. What is going on in your head? You don't have to. You can quit. It would be easier to quit." Ignore it. That voice isn't you. It doesn't own you. It doesn't control you. And you just keep going. You just keep going. Then the 20-minute mark comes around eventually. And then there's another voice inside of you that says, "Yes, you did it. You are stronger than you thought you were. Because you listened to the right voice." Now, I would recommend once in a while, not every day, but once in a while, give yourself a physical task, a demanding, time-consuming task like that gets that little voice, the voice that wants to quit, the voice that wants to stop, the voice that wants to keep you safe, that gets that one screaming at you. And once in a while, it's different for everybody. Some people love those crazy, high-intensity circuits. Some people are really good at those. If you're one of those people, find something that makes that voice start screeching at you. It might be long-distance running. I'm not a big advocate of that. But if you hate long-distance running, maybe try that. I know some fighters do. Somebody asked me, do I need to do long-distance running to be a good fighter? Heck no, you don't. But you do need to push yourself out of your comfort zone and get that little whiny voice screeching at you on a regular basis. So that you can tell that voice, "You don't own me. You do not control me. You are not me. You're not the one in charge here. I am." So that's a very simple exercise you can do. There are a lot of other things, but I'm going to leave you with that, because that one directly relates to mixed martial arts in some of the most important ways. Because, man, in a fight, what happens? I've seen this so much as a coach. Between rounds, a fighter will come up and start complaining. "This guy is stronger than I thought. Man, he's so strong." They're not complaining about how technical he is. They're not complaining about how good his boxing is or his jiu-jitsu. They're just like, "He's strong, and I'm tired." So that's what they feel. And that's a little voice inside of them saying, "He's stronger than you. He's less tired than you. It would be easier to quit. Come on, just lie down. Throw in the towel. It would be easier not to." And you ignore that. And if you have a hard time ignoring that and listening to the more important voice inside of you that says, "I am in control," then pay attention to the outside voices, perhaps your coach, that is giving you some better advice. Keep going. Suck it up and keep going. You are stronger than that voice, the little whiny one. Thank you for watching. Now get out there and train.